Hello, Yoga Hippie here. I wanted to make a post about some things that have been going on, some experiences that I've been having. By the way, I'm in an area parked in my car that's a little bit heavily trafficked. There's a bike path right in front of me, and anyway, I might be distracted looking around, but anyway. Once upon a time, I was born again Christian, and born again Christians believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for their sins, and that that's the only way to heaven. And they believe in a heaven and a hell, and they're pretty challenging to talk with because they believe it's the only way. So there's no way that they will be open to another person's point of view. They don't accept anybody else's point of view because the way that whole program is set up makes it impossible for them to be able to do that. Also, planes constantly go over here, so I apologize for that. I can't control the planes. And they go over all the time, so anyway, I was walking down that path when I was 18. I went through a Christian drug rehab, and I realized after about 13 months that they were not going to let me out of there until I became a Christian. And it didn't seem like a bad deal. They all seemed pretty happy, and I wanted to be sober, and I thought maybe it would help me stay sober. I didn't really know about all the, I wasn't really sure that I totally believed everything, but I wanted to. So I was 18, and okay, I believe, and I said the sinner's prayer, and then several years later got married to a minister, or a man who became a minister, and found myself being a stay-at-home mom, which I was happy to be. However, I was also married to a minister, and I was growing up, I guess, because I got married at 22, so my worldview was really I was starting to kind of have some thoughts on my own, and I wasn't really raised in the church. So I didn't really ever resonate with this whole "it's the only way" idea, and that was probably my first complaint about all of it, when I found out, oh, okay, no, I don't think it's okay to tell people that that's the only way, and I don't believe it's my place to tell anybody they're going to hell. And so I started having some very fundamental, really basic problems with this path that I had found myself very much a part of. And so over the course of a decade or more, I just turned away. Finally, I walked away, and then a year later, left my ex-husband. And anyway, all of that was a crazy time in my life, and shaped and formed some really strong, deep, embedded opinions about God and who that might be and what that might be to me, and Christians. And I realized that not all born-again Christians are the way that I was exposed to them at that time, but it definitely impacted me in a way that I don't even know that I completely could articulate to you. So I became a better agnostic and was pissed off and decided that God didn't care, that something created whatever, this world, because it is miraculous, but I didn't feel that this being had any interest in my life. So recently in April, I learned how to channel Reiki Tumo. And in the energy work, there's a couple different kinds, I guess, of Reiki. And Reiki is universal energy. And I'm always forgetting how to break that word down. But it's basically this universal energy that we're given. And so I got attuned to it, and I can channel this, and it's healing. It's super peaceful and loving. It's heart-centered. And in the middle of channeling this, we were doing this exercise, surrendering to it or intending to channel it, and all of a sudden I just had this moment like, whoa. It just was overcome with love. I felt so much love. And I realized I am connected to this being. And ever since that moment, April 14th, I've been trying to discern what I want to believe about this. And it has completely turned my worldview on end in such a good way. So my son is a born-again Christian, and he's awesome. And we have a lot of conversations about it. And he's always like, Mom, you're so close. You're so close. God, you just talk about everything like it's Christianity, but then you just don't embrace the whole Jesus thing. And I'm like, yeah, no, I just can't. So, it's an interesting place to be because I'm completely fine. I feel better than I probably have in my entire life about so many things, and realize that we're all loved so much. And I don't know about Jesus. I know he walked the earth and he was a miraculous person who created healing, and he did those things, but I mean, there's like a historical proof that those things happened. But I don't know about the dying on the cross. For me, that story really disturbs me on a real deep level. Like, makes me pretty upset. Like, when I was a Christian, I would just get mad about that whole thing, and everybody would want to take communion and be all like grateful or something, and I would just be like mad. Like, why would you do that? Why would God do that? Why? That's terrible. And anyway, so that I'm still sorting that out. But the rest of this, I want to tell you, is just pretty miraculous. And last night I went to a breath work thing with this place called the Breath Center, and apparently, I don't know this man until last night. He's a famous yogi. He's yoga famous, is what the lady said. But he is like Shakti Fest and Bhakti Fest and all these yoga festivals, and he is like a master. Michael Bryan, I'm gonna get his name wrong, and I apologize. I'll put it in the comments later when I get a chance to get to my computer. His website is called the Breath Center. Anyway, we did this breath work where we took 2 breaths in and exhale out. And if you know anything about breath work, it's pretty powerful. And our body is affected greatly by our breath, and how deep our breaths are, how we control our breaths, how we don't control our breaths, and the cells in our body and our nervous system is directly affected by our breath. So whenever you're having anxious moments, stopping to breathe is vital to connecting to your nervous system to calm yourself down. So anyway, we did this breath, and it was really interesting, and he said you could feel the shifts up to like a couple of days, like 72 hours. I guess that's more than a couple days. Anyway, that was super interesting to me, and I can't say that I had like a miraculous shift last night, but he said something could happen, at any time. But I definitely feel different today, and different in a way. I am a real airy person. I'm like a double Gemini and all this kind of stuff, if you're into astrology. But I'm pretty like, a lot high energy. And I feel like supremely grounded this morning. I just feel very calm and centered. And it's a good feeling. So I'm going to add this to my repertoire. Okay, so every morning I've been getting up and I've been doing all these meditations. And I've recently discovered another thing called theta healing. I just have so many things I'm kind of focused on right now. So it's about subliminal messages in your mind, and it's totally fascinating. So the theta brainwaves are only there right before you go to bed and right when you're waking up. And that's where your subconscious mind lives, and our subconscious mind is driving like 90-something% of our day and our life. So you can't just tell it you want to think differently. You have to kind of go into the subconscious mind during this theta. That's what hypnosis does, and reprogram it. So I've been listening to tapes, recordings right before I go to bed to help me change some blocks that I believe I have around abundance. And then I do Reiki on myself, this Reiki Tumo, and anyway, I've been getting up at 5:30 in the morning to do all these things, and I'm feeling good, and I'm really happy about a lot of things, and I'm happy that I connected to whatever this is. I've decided to call it spirit because I think I have PTSD over the word God, the term God. And so I'm only comfortable really referring to it as spirit. And even that makes me go a little bit, just because I was so very anti any of this stuff for so long. And honestly, yoga has opened up my whole world. And so I know the born again Christians are going to disagree, and I don't want to debate it because I honestly just, my son and I talk about it all the time, and my entire family, they're all Christians, and and I was one. I know all the things that people will say to me, and there's no way that you're going to argue your way or your point into changing my mind. It is going to have to happen from some other way. If that were to happen, it would be a spirit thing, a God thing, whatever. If I decided to walk on the path of Jesus being my Savior again, that would definitely be something that happened from not a person and would be directly from spirit. So please don't worry about trying to save me. That's God's job if that's going to happen. So I'm currently pretty happy and don't see that I need to be saved, but that's just what I'm saying. So anyway, I just wanted to share that we're all on our path here in life, and that whether it's breath work that's changing your life, meditation that's changing your life, I also do transcendental meditation for 20 minutes. I try to get that in at least once a day. But anyway, all these things are changing me in a way that feels very peaceful and grateful and happy and wonderful. So I hope wherever you are in your journey that you are staying open to ideas and spirit because we're being given messages all the time, and I don't know, I think it's good to try things and to see how you feel about them. So if you're depressed or you're stressed or anxious or just down, whatever your deal is, there are a lot of resources out there to help you feel better. Yoga, meditating, and Reiki, Reiki Tumo. And I encourage you to seek them out and try them. It's really changed my life. That's all for today. And I hope that everybody is finding their way, and that you will like my video and subscribe.